Hey, what's up guys? Rob here, and today I'll be participating in another tag video called the Resident Evil tag, created by the Trash Picture Show. I'll put the link in the description. I had to do this one. Resident Evil. One of my favorite series when it comes to video games. A lot of memories. But I'm going to leave this open to anybody who wants to do it. I'm not going to tag anybody. I was not tagged for this. I just thought I'd give my 2 cents. Because it's one of my favorite topics. Anyway, yeah, if any of you guys want to do it, you know, definitely do so. Resident Evil. I've played every single game that's come out. And I've actually beaten quite a few. And I do have a lot of favorites. But I can remember when I first got my PlayStation, there were 2 games that I was always playing. Twisted Metal 2 and Resident Evil. There was nothing like Resident Evil at the time. Survival horror at its greatest. I mean, you're in a mansion, you're trying to survive with your health items by combining the herbs, finding, you know, first aid sprays, battling zombies and different creatures, solving puzzles to get items and keys to unlock certain doors. I mean, you know, rationing your ammo. I mean, it was great. As the sequels, you know, were coming out, it was pretty much survival horror turned into action horror, which was fine. But there was nothing like the first Resident Evil game for the PlayStation. Nothing like it. Now for this tag, there are 6 questions. And, you know, of course, they all have to do with Resident Evil characters and creatures and all that stuff. So, pretty cool. Let's start with the first one here. Number 1. Favorite Resident Evil game. Now, I decided this a long time ago. When Resident Evil 4 first came out for the GameCube, I remember picking that up, and I was blown away. Resident Evil 4 is hands down my favorite Resident Evil game now. It used to be Resident Evil 2 for the PlayStation. I mean, I love the first 3. Resident Evil 1, then they had the, you know, Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut. And then Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I loved those 3 games. Resident Evil 4 had new mechanics, over the shoulder. You know, you could aim at the villains, you know, like the villagers, like their legs. And if you shoot them in the leg, they'll, you know, kind of stop a little bit, and you can kick them or punch them. And the mechanics were totally different. And there's a lot of action in it, but there's also a lot of intense moments in Resident Evil 4. The fact that all these horde of people coming after you, surrounding you with weapons and stuff, and you have to sit there and try to, like, you know, try to figure out what you're going to do, how you're going to get out of this situation with the ammo that you have. And it's really awesome. I was blown away. I remember I called in sick from work to go get that game and play it on the GameCube. Man, memories. Oh. Resident Evil 4 is 100% my favorite Resident Evil game, and I've beat that game like 25 times, and you know, I've done it on Pro, on Normal, on all, you know, I've unlocked all the mercenary missions and all the extra stuff. So I consider myself pretty good at the game. So that's my answer for number 1 is Resident Evil 4. Question number 2. Favorite Resident Evil hero in the series? Well, that would have to be Leon Kennedy. I thought Leon was really cool in Resident Evil 2 when he first showed up with Claire. But Resident Evil 4, he's like a one-man army. He's like Rambo. They send him in there, you know, in this village, in Europe to investigate, to try to find the president's daughter. And he's just to go in there, get her, and get her out. And he's got to face off against, like villagers who are trying to kill him. And Los Illuminados, which are like these robed, rich, like cultist kind of people in this castle. And then all these like army guys in this island. Like he's facing off against all these monsters and all these people by himself. And while he's saving the president's daughter. I mean, he's badass. Leon Kennedy is badass. Chris Redfield's fine, but Leon, I just think Leon could take Chris, like, any day. I mean, they both got, they both got some good skills. It's just that Leon, I just think after all the stuff that he's been through, I prefer him. So, my favorite is Leon. Number 3. Favorite Resident Evil human villain? Well, I'm assuming you mean, well, pretty much all the villains in the Resident Evil series are human at some point, but they have some kind of virus in them. Like Wesker, he was human in Resident Evil 1 before he, was injected with the virus. But I would have to say my favorite villain would have to be Osmond Sadler. I love him. He reminds me of Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars. Like he's just got that vibe of like an emperor. Like the way he walks with the hood over his head and his staff. I mean, he's really powerful too. He controls the Las Plagas that's inside of you. They inject you with the egg, and then it hatches. And once it hatches, he can control you. From the inside, he can control you. You're pretty much like his puppet. I love that. He was awesome. I loved the way he talked and the stuff that he'd say. When he was facing off with Leon. Yeah, Sadler is badass. I loved him. Even though the final boss fight with Sadler was kind of lame. I mean, it was easy, where he turns into like this, like spider-looking, big Las Plagas or whatever. Really easy boss fight, but he was cool, nonetheless. I know most people would probably say Albert Wesker, and he is a great villain, don't get me wrong. Number 4, favorite monster/creature in the series. Now, this is one that I don't think many people are going to mention. From the Resident Evil remake, or remastered, however you want to call it, when it first came out for the GameCube, great game by the way. It's a remaster of the very first game on PlayStation, but it first came out for the GameCube, and they remastered it, and the graphics are unbelievable. You're walking around, there's dust coming up off the floor, and like the lighting and the light, everything looks different, but yet you still see similarities from the original game. But the graphics are unbelievable. In the Resident Evil remake, there are these things called Crimson Head zombies, okay? And what they are is, if you kill a zombie, let's say you're shooting a zombie in the Resident Evil remake, you're shooting a zombie, the zombie falls down, okay? You go on your way and then you come back. Let's say you leave the room and then you come back and that zombie that you just shot is laying there still. Now, a lot of times the zombies will disappear after you kill them. But the ones that are still there, that means trouble. Okay, that means trouble, because those zombies, if you leave them there long enough, they will get up and they will transform into Crimson Heads, which are zombies that run fast. They just run at you. They run at you. They're stronger. They're more aggressive. They have like these claws, like these fingernails that grow, and they slash at you. They're stronger than a normal zombie. The normal zombies are just like this. These things come at you. The Crimson Heads are really cool. That was a cool idea that they added for the remake, because the Crimson Heads were never in the original Resident Evil game. But the cool thing about the Crimson Heads is that, let's say you come back into the room and that zombie's still laying there and eventually he'll turn into a Crimson Head, you have to burn the body. If you burn the body, he won't come back as a Crimson Head. So that's a cool little tip, and I'm sure a lot of you know that already. So the Crimson Head zombies are some of my favorites. Number 5, favorite boss slash monster in the series. I would have to say Mr. X slash Tyrant. And I'm talking about, you know, from Resident Evil 2 when Mr. X, who has the long, you know, the long coat and the hat, and like they drop him off, he's bald. He basically, it's like he's Tyrant, but he's, I want to say he's complete. Because Tyrant, you know, when Tyrant was first announced in the first Resident Evil game, he was still in that tank, and like they were still, you know, doing tests and stuff. He wasn't really ready to be like activated, so to say. Mr. X, who is basically like a completed Tyrant, he just walks around and stalks you everywhere you go. In Resident Evil 2, he'll just walk down the hallway and he'll punch at you, try to grab you, and really creepy. And I know he's in the Resident Evil 2 remake that comes out tomorrow. I cannot wait. So he's in that. But eventually, Mr. X turns into Tyrant, because at the end of Resident Evil 2, he gets the claw. I think he gets 2 of them, actually. But he turns into, obviously, the Tyrant. So I'm going to say him. He's really awesome. Okay, question number 6. Who is your Resident Evil crush? Well, I have 2. Now, I think Jill Valentine's hot. I think she's, you know, great looking. Claire's okay. But I gotta tell you, I have a thing for these 2 women in the series, and that's Ada Wong. When she's walking around in that red dress in Resident Evil 4, I'm like, she's sitting there doing stealth missions in that red dress. Now, how kinky is that? That is kinky. I mean, honestly, the woman is wild. She's sparky. I just like it. I mean, oh my God. And she has a crush on Leon. You know she does. Leon just lets it go. He doesn't care. She's sitting there doing cartwheels with her dress. It's like, do that in slow motion. Ada Wong, heck yeah. The other one I'm going to say is Rebecca Chambers. I've always had a thing for her. I just think I don't know, I just think she's more cute than anything. I mean, she's a little bit younger than Jill Valentine, but it's like, I really liked her character in Resident Evil 0. I thought she was adorable. But yeah, Rebecca Chambers, I've kind of had a little crush with her. But, you know, all the women in, you know, the Resident Evil series are pretty much good looking, or they're, you know, a lot of them are hot, so to say. But I would have to say Ada Wong would be like my #1 choice. So anyway, guys, there you go. Those are the 6 questions that I had to answer for the Resident Evil tag. And I will list the questions also in the description, so you can just, you know, write them down or read off them or whatever. But yeah, I hope you guys participate. I had to do this because huge Resident Evil fan right here. Love it. Love the series. If you want to see my Resident Evil game collection that I did like years ago, and I actually reposted the video. It's on my channel. I think it's actually some of my earlier videos. Just go to the search bar on my channel and type in Resident Evil game collection, and you'll see the video. I show you guys my Resident Evil game collection from, you know, back then, which is actually kind of changed a little bit now, because I do own like Resident Evil 7, and I own a few more, and I will be getting Resident Evil 2, the remake. So my Resident Evil game collection will actually be growing. But if you want to see that video, check it out. I think you'd like it. And yeah, so I'm going to leave this tag open. Participate if you want. I'd really like to hear your answers. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Rob. I have some more updates coming up, Blu-ray, VHS, and all that stuff. I also have an unboxing video that I'm going to be doing tomorrow, so definitely stay tuned for that. Also, some movie reviews that I have up. Also, we're doing a live stream, I believe this Saturday. So the Rat Group, you know, if you haven't seen our first live stream, check it out. It's a little long. It's like 3 hours. I don't think this time we're going to be doing, you know, a stream for that long. But we're going to be talking about the Unbreakable trilogy. That's where we're going to be discussing the 3 movies since Glass came out and stuff. So we're going to be discussing those. So, you know, stay tuned for that. All right, guys. Rob's signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next one.